the question should have been, okay, so you're acknowledging that God and Jesus are two separate beings. Jesus was on the right hand of the Father according to Stephen's vision, right? And then what are you doing with that? You still believe that God and Jesus are one, and the Holy Spirit are one entity, without form, without body parts and passions. But that's not what Stephen saw. Stephen saw Jesus on the right hand of the Father. They were two separate, distinct beings. And Jesus, obviously, is a resurrected being, because we know that in the New Testament, when he was resurrected, he had a body of flesh and bones. And Stephen was doubting Thomas, right? Oh, sorry, Thomas was the doubting Thomas, saying, unless I see with my eyes and feel with my hands, I'm not going to believe, right? And so when Jesus came, he showed him the fingerprint, the nail marks in his hands and feet. And then he said, blessed are those who haven't seen and yet believe. I mean, what do you do with those scriptures if you believe that Jesus and God the Father are one entity without body parts and passions? You're denying the scriptures. You're denying the words of his apostles and prophets. You know, Jesus didn't write any scriptures. He preached the gospel, and it was written down by the disciples, right? But Jesus himself didn't give us any scriptures that we know of. All right? So we have to take on board what these disciples said about the personage and the personality, the character, the nature of Jesus Christ and God the Father. And in the scriptures, there's so much evidence to suggest that the Trinity, the doctrine of the Trinity, which was man-made, by the way, didn't come about till after the 1st century. Right before that, this wasn't even a thing. And as you can read in the writings of Paul, he was constantly telling the people that, you know, they need to get back to the things that the apostles were teaching and not go into all these other areas, not believe in false doctrines and doctrines of devils and philosophies of men, right?